Most players below Diamond make big mistakes they don't even notice, and chances are you are making them too. In this guide, you will discover the 5 worst mistakes that are sabotaging your progress and learn exactly how to fix them. My name is Bizais and I'm a multi-season AD carry coach with years of experience helping players from Iron to Grandmaster. In fact, I've coached over 3,254 players, including people who climb from Silver to Emerald, Bronze to Diamond, or even Gold to Grandmaster with my help. If there is one thing that I learned, is that these mistakes happen over and over again. You don't even see it, no matter the rank. I guarantee that if you're below Diamond, you're making at least 1 or probably 2 mistakes. Mistake number 1. I win lane, but I can't snowball. This is by far one of the biggest fear and pattern a lot of AD carries have. Here is how you fix it. 1. A lead isn't just about getting some kills and sitting back the whole game. It's about converting that into more gold, more pressure. Focus on securing plates, farm extra waves, and look for more kill opportunities. If you fail to push your advantage, you risk letting the enemy scale back into the game. Not pushing for plates, not pushing for extra waves, not accelerating the lead with the goal. This can be a big mistake. So let's see the examples. Pay attention to the following situation when they should convert their lead by taking plates, or maybe not. Let's take a look at this. So Xayah is in a winning position. We get ganked and nothing really happens. Okay, we're pushing the wave, something happens on the river. That is not Xayah's concern. She is just fighting the Lulu and she plays it quite decent. She gets a kill, so obviously what should she do right now? She should think about going for the plates. She tries to make a play. So right now, since she's super low HP, she could consider to recall, but since there is no jungle threat right here because Nocturne is dead and Vayne is dead as well, she actually goes for the plate. She has a W, she's level 6 and she does have a reasonably amount of items and she has plenty of time. What is she gonna do? She's gonna try to take the plate. She takes it pretty fast. Vayne respawns. We can actually see, we can assume that Vayne is around here right now and right here, and she's gonna push another one. Is this good that she pushes another one? Based on the fact that the Vayne just respawned like 5 seconds ago, this is fine. This is fine pushing this wave. Of course, she pushes and then going for another plate would be a mistake. Vayne is already in the lane. This is very, very key, right? Because if she stays for this extra wave when Vayne is right here or right there, that's basically gonna mean you're gonna get stopped of the recall or even worse, die. So every time when you go for a plate or you go for an extra wave, you need to kind of calculate where is the enemy indicated, where is the enemy support, can they kill me, can they stop my recall? Really, really important. And don't forget about the jungle. Many situations you don't want to take the plate because the jungle can actually kill you. So at the end of the day, is it a high chance for me to die here if I take this plate, whether it's going to be enemy jungle or enemy bot lane? And that will depend on the death timers of the enemy bot lane, which will actually tell you where they are, and the enemy jungle position. Now let's take a look at the following example. We're looking exactly at the Jinx, okay? So Jinx right here, she's receiving a gank. She's following the gank, nothing crazy. We can see that she's actually end up killing the Sivir, almost killing the Sivir. She stays into the brush and then somehow they get the push. We can see that right here in this position, she sees that Sivir is recalled, right? So based on the chances of her getting stopped of the recall or based on the chances of her dying right here, should she stay for the plate? So what should she do right here after she sees that the Sivir is recalled? Well, in this specific case, we need to think about the most important thing is, can she die to a jungle gank? And with this HP, it is a Warwick with a Janna though, so it's not the big setup. So yes, the chance of her dying right here is relatively high. It's not completely high because she has one combo from the Jarvan soon, but it is relatively high for sure. The advantage here is that Sivir just recalled, right? So she has plenty of time. If she wants to stay for a plate, she has plenty of time to take it. But she also has a big wave. So those are the two advantages. Obviously, to take a decision, we need to look also at the health of the plate. If it's full HP, staying here is garbage, even though she has the big wave and even though Sivir recall. If the plate is low and it requires her a short period of time to take it, then she should do it. The plate is really low. By really low, I mean based on her items, she needs maximum 1 to 2 auto attacks, especially having already the wave. She does 2 auto attacks and she runs away. What did she do? She just immediately recalls. Is that bad? Well, judging of where Sivir was, it was bad. Is it a risk that she, could potentially die of the jungle? Yes, it is a small risk, but this kind of small risk are good to take because you can push your lead. If she was really low, like if she was 100 HP, then I would recall, I would not take this risk because this would be a big risk. But since she has 438 health and she's playing against a Janna, no setup, no CC, I mean, she can tornado and Warwick, this is not Elise, this is not Jarvan, this is not something crazy early on, then she should take this small risk and she should push her lead here. And we can see that what happened by the end of the game is very, very simple. She lost it. She had a big lead. She didn't know how to convert it. This is why. In the next example, I want you to see what is the real mistake right here. Okay, we have the same situation. We have a Xayah that is 2-0 and she's very strong. At the moment, she has 590 gold and she's playing the lane phase. She doesn't have information of the jungle, so she's basically solo pushing and trying to punish. Nothing crazy. Vayne makes a mistake and she just dies, okay? Xayah place is really good, so what should the Xayah do right here? Well, it's quite simple. Based on the positioning of the Vayne, well, she's dead. Based on the fact that she knows where is the jungle, and based on the fact that they have so many items, they should go for a plate. How many plays? Well, since they have a big dead timer to play around, they can get a lot of plates. What does a lot of plates mean? Well, this is super safe, so she gets the first one. The Vayne is still dead, so she actually goes for a second one, and Vayne is still dead and she just respawned. Since Vayne she just respawned right now, going for this specific wave is good, obviously. This is no way you're gonna die, this is no way you're gonna get stopped of the recall. Vayne right now she's coming, she's basically right there, so pushing this extra wave is good. So what is the mistake here really? The mistake is what you're seeing on the screen. They go for an extra plate here, which means yes, they will get it. That is not the problem. The problem is that what happens after is if you try to recall, well, guess what? You have a lot of gold, 1237, and you won't be able to recall. Why? Is because they will either fight you or stop your recall. So what is going to happen here? They will try to push. They will try to overextend. They will try to stay. And even worse, after this happens, they will try to fight. But of course, since they have items advantage, this is going to be a very easy fight for Vayne. So in the beginning of the play, the Xayah played it really well. Based on the death timer of the Vayne and based on the chances of her dying here, getting extra plates is really good. She got a lot and she was paying attention to the Vayne death timer. But at this point in time when she respawned, she should not go for extra plate. Like at this point right here, since Vayne is so close to the lane, going for this extra plate will either mean you die or not even that bad, or you go into the brush, you try to recall and they stop your recall. Do you prefer to just recall, not getting this plate, you have Kraken Slayer and you have a lot of items? Or do you prefer to stay, you stay for an extra plate, but now you cannot recall because if you recall, they will just push the wave, right? So you need to be super smart about this factor. Where is the enemy AD carry and enemy support? Can they kill me if I stay for an extra plate or an extra wave? Or can the enemy jungle kill me? These are the variables that you need to respect to know if you should go for a plate or not. Things like I never grid for the plate or I always go for the plate and not thinking about this thing is not right. So the bottom line is not looking to push for plates and extra waves and not accelerating the lead with gold can be a big mistake. But at the same time, if you're greeding for plates and actually die, you lose your lead. So you gotta be able to understand truly when is better to stay for the plate and when is better to actually just play it safe. As you guys saw from the examples, it's not as simple as enemy bot lane have big death timers, I go for plates. In that case, if you're low enough but the enemy jungle can kill you, you don't stay. Similarly, if the plate's health is really low, you can say, oh yeah, I know, I'm gonna go for plate. But no. If the enemy bot lane is close enough to threaten you, you don't assume it's always safe to take the plate. To make the right decision, you need to consider multiple factors, such as the positioning of the enemy bot lane and jungle positioning, the size of your minion wave, and your own item power spike level. This way, you can assess the threat of dying and determine whether getting the plate is worth the risk. Mistake number 3. You don't group fast enough with your team. Another thing that is very important in order to convert your lead from the early game to actually winning the game later on is that you need to know when to group with your team, when you need to group with your team, when you need to stay back bot lane. And the simple rule is you get a tower on bot lane, you can go mid lane. But there are many exceptions. Pay attention to your screen right now. So in this case, we see a Jhin that is actually quite strong. The simple rule is, as we said, we get the tower and we group mid lane. Why is it like that? Just because you want to be able to stay with your teammates and fight. That's usually, most of the cases, good. So we see that he actually gets a bunch of kills, he pushes the wave, he takes the tower, and now, typically, he just needs to recall. He does have 2000 gold, so it's kinda, you're gonna laugh, oh, you know, besides, I mean, this is so obvious, he needs to recall. Yeah, but the real reason why he needs to recall is that there is no universe where he's gonna be able to pressure this tower. He wants to be mid lane so he can play for tier 1, and potentially if this guy wants to get tier 2, he can just be there so he can support. Being bot lane is gonna isolate himself, right? Pay attention to the Ahri, she can go bot lane. You see how overextended they are? Kindred can go bot lane, they can get TP'd behind from Ornn. There's just so many things that can happen here, so this is why it's bad to not stay bot lane. And we can see here, this is the best case scenario. They kill Kindred, everyone is dead, but they're still not able to get this tower, and they spend so much time, so much time. Now they can actually get stopped with the recall. It would have been so much easier to take this tower and not pressure this tower, because again, it's just simply untakeable, judging how easy it is for enemy team to catch you. And here is the next situation where I got the tower on bot lane, as you can see it on your screen right now, but I'm still going to bot lane. Why? It's because I want to defend this tower, and no one is actually, my Zoe is mid lane, my Volibear jungle is not able to defend, and my Riven is going top lane. So there are situations where, because you have to catch the wave on bot lane and no one else does it, after you're pinging it, you have to go back to bot lane, just depending on the minimap state and the objectives that are shown on the map currently. So it is fine sometimes to actually go back to bot lane, even if you got the tower. But after you get it, you know, after you get that wave, you should basically hover mid lane like I'm doing, and you see it on your screen right now. Obviously, you have on your screen the normal basic situation where you got the bot tower and you're just immediately going back to mid lane because your mid lane / top lane is going back to bot lane. In that case, obviously, you need to ping, but you already have something to do. If he doesn't go there, you know that you should actually be responding to that wave and push the wave into the second tower on the bot lane. That's the third situation that can occur. The next situation can also occur when you are actually, they are getting the tower, and what are you gonna do? Well, usually you want to play for the next tower. So you want to actually take this tower before you actually group mid, but there are situations where you're not able to, like for example in this case it's a Nunu, but it can be a Zed, a Nocturne, so you're not actually able to get this tower. If you're not, then you can actually group mid lane faster. So what this MF is gonna do, as we can see right here, she's gonna go back to bot lane, respond to this wave. Can she get this tower? Not really, it's too much threat, it's too little vision, so then she actually just decides to go for this fight. So that's what you do when your tower is taken down. You usually want to play for the bot tower, you want to take it, you want to push, you want to go there, but if the risk is too high, the risk of dying is too high because they have assassins or you have no vision, then obviously you can consider staying mid lane and grouping mid lane a little bit more, a little bit longer. Pay attention to the next situation right here, master tier game coaching session besides. So this is me coaching this guy. Okay, so now he goes to bot lane, so this is quite simple. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go mid lane because my wave is pushed all the way into the tower. That's pretty simple. He goes mid lane and then he pushes the wave. So usually when you stay mid lane in cases like this, you just take mid lane, you push it, and then the Katarina that she's gonna actually spawn, she's gonna go mid lane back to mid lane. So push this, make Orianna lose, and then now he needs to go back to bot lane to actually defend Jinx. He didn't do that. He actually stayed on mid lane and he actually leaves Katarina to go to bot lane, which in general is bad. But this is again a master tier game. Usually in Master, Grandmaster, Challenger, you can actually group earlier mid lane, and this is one case where you can group earlier. What do I mean by that, and how do I know if I should group earlier? First of all, you should group mid if you're so strong, you're stronger than your Katarina, your mid laner, okay? So here we see he died because he misplayed, but the reason why he stayed mid is because 1, he's 2-1, he has a Emilio Ashe, so 1, he has a good comp, 2, he's very strong, 3, Katarina is very weak, 4, his champion is extremely good because he does have a lot of utility, it's Ashe, so if he hits Orianna or Viego or like even Bard, if he hits it with the ultimate, with the Wukong setup, it's like super easy for him to actually do something. So this is why he grouped on mid lane, because he knew he's stronger than Katarina. No, this is not something that I recommend for bronze, silver, emerald. I mean, this is very tricky to recommend because you're probably not gonna know all of these things, and in general your mid lane is actually stronger than you because he's a mid lane and he has more XP. But yes, if you see challenger players grouping mid lane, that's fine. I mean, obviously they know what they are doing, they group for grubs, but that's not something that I would recommend you unless you're thinking about the mid lane being a lot weaker than you, unless you think how can you play mid lane with your champion, like There is many cases where Katarina is like 5-0 and you're doing this rotation and you're just dead. Or many cases where you play like Ashe and they have Wukong, they have like Blitzcrank, they have so much threat to you that you would just be better bot lane just farming and let Katarina stay mid. Usually, the conclusion is the following. If you get bot tower, you always prefer to stay mid lane around the fights and around the action, but keep yourself ready to adapt, because sometimes going back to bot lane to catch a wave or defend the tower can be good. Typically in low elo, I do not recommend you to group earlier than after you get that tower. The bonus is mistake number 4. Don't have stupid deaths. So many players, they actually ahead in the lane, but then they just get caught randomly, and that is pretty bad. So you need to make informed decisions, assess the risk, and really assess the reward. So pay attention to this guy. 3-0, he's playing in low elo, obviously. So he's gonna like try to play around his teammates. He's so strong right now, and all of a sudden he has this death where, you know, Carbon just was camping into the brush. He could have just positioned it better. Now he actually stops kiting instead, and he was lazy. So he has one death like this. That's not the problem really, right? Anyone can have like 1 death, 2 deaths per game where, you know, you're just losing a little bit your focus. If it's low elo, if it's high elo, you're most likely gonna lose the game because of that death. But in low elo, yes, there are games where 1 death can lose the game, but that's like really rare, like really rare, like 1 out of 20 games. I think when you die, you lose the game. Usually in high elo that happens. So my tip is literally just, okay, you made a mistake, you died 1 time, then just focus on the next one, okay? Just focus on the next play. What am I gonna have to do? Where do I have to be? How do I have to play now? I made this mistake, but let me not repeat it, because usually if you just die 1 time, the game is still winnable. So you have to just focus and do not lose your cool, okay? Just play the game, you know, focus and try to carry the game. You just died once, even twice, it's fine, no problem. Just keep focusing and play the game. And obviously people in low elo, they die because of so many reasons, right? Pay attention to this Caitlyn that is strong. We're talking about around the gold player. So his teammates are around the left hand side, and obviously he should be on the left hand side, so he should be around this pocket. She can walk up right here. It is Viego, so they don't have much threat, but she just needs to click on the left, right? Which she does it. This is really good. But now pay attention to what she does. She wants to push this wave right here, and now she's actually 1, she's too deep. She has no vision here. Obviously this is too deep. But 2, and most importantly, she's on the mid pocket here, if you guys can see. This is mid pocket, this is left pocket, this is right pocket. Judging of the jungle and support position and top lane, he should be on the top pocket, right? Right there. And now you guys can see that her clicks are like really random. She's actually going on the right. In general, if you actually just hover left pocket, it's going to be better to just go towards your teammates. Like think about if Lulu comes from there and you're there, you can immediately go to your teammates and you can set up a bait. Pay attention to here, like they can just help you super fast. This mistake, I mean, this is like 2 mistakes in one. She wasn't thinking about like being too deep and about the threat. She wasn't like looking at the vision. That's a big one. And 2, she didn't even play around her teammates. She probably doesn't think about pockets. She doesn't think about jungle and playing with the jungle and playing with the support in later stages to get vision, to hover them, to stay behind them sometimes, to just get vision and just to play around the side that your jungle is when he's around you. That's quite important. And a lot of people, even in Emerald, they don't really do. They just make so many like big, basic mistakes. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like this video. Make sure you comment down below if you want to make sure you support the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, don't forget about that, and check out the coaching session if you guys want to get better. If you think these videos help you, imagine what a coaching session can do to you. It's going to be amazing and you'll love it. So check out that out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.